I thought it'd be super interesting to focus on one area of EOS. And by the way, Cloud at Work, Net at Work, we are users and adopters and evangelists of traction in EOS. But I thought it would be super interesting to look at particularly technology road mapping and the importance of vision in regards to EOS. So can you define within the EOS framework what is vision?
Yeah, so vision, when we say vision, we're talking about who are we as a company, where are we going, and what is it going to take to get there? That's really what vision means, right? And I always like to say vision without traction is a hallucination, right? You can have all the vision in the world, but if you're actually not going to do the things you need to do to get there, it's just a dream, right? So just to rewind a little bit before I talk about how it addresses technology roadmap, really what EOS does is it helps people get really good at being leaders, right? It helps leadership teams grow and develop. And there's five things that leaders need to do, and I want to zero in on one, right? There's the ability to simplify things for their people, the ability to delegate, the ability to predict what's coming, the ability to systemize things, and the ability to structure their organization, structure the things that they do. So the one in the middle, the predict, is really, really, really important, right? When we think about what our vision is, we're actually predicting where we think this company should and can go, right? So when we think about like what we want to start doing is making a whole bunch of predictions of where this business is going to go and what's going to be going on in the world around us to craft that vision. So back to the point of, where does technology fit into all that, right? We have this tool called the VTO, which we can go deeper on or not, but it's 8 questions that you answer to solidify your vision, right? It's what are our core values? What type of culture are we trying to build? What's our core focus? Like what's our sweet spot as an organization? So whether a contractor, a tech company, a government agency, whatever that may be, we need to know what we do better than anybody else. And now we're going to start getting into the steps, right? So we talk about a thing called the core target, and it's really anywhere from 5 to 30 years out. That's your long-term thinking, right? I'm a big fan of the brand Nike. Somewhere on that shelf is Shoe Dog, the Phil Knight book, one of my favorites ever. And Nike set out when they built their business to crush Adidas, right? They knew it was never going to happen. They knew it was never, it's impossible almost to put that company out of business. But the way that Nike has built their organization for the last, 50 years, give or take, that it's been around or more, they've been constantly trying to set that bar and make it further. So now everything they come across in the short term, there's context to it, right? Should we start making golf clubs? Well, is that going to help us put Adidas out of business? Maybe, right? So we want that 10-year, that long-term thinking, because it's going to help us give, have that real like GPS coordinate context for where we're trying to go. And then you can roll it back into something called the 3-year picture, which is like zooming in now. If that's really where I'm going, if I'm crushing Adidas in 10 years, or if I'm, selling clothing on the moon when there's people living there, or Mars, or whatever that may be, that's my crazy vision. In 3 years from now, what's that crystal clear picture that I have of where my company is? And there better be technology as part of that, right? Because now you have to start predicting where's this world going to be in 3 years? What systems are going to be there? We're all talking about AI. Years ago, even now, still obviously we're talking about the cloud. Like these were buzzwords, but these buzzwords are the things that you have to pay attention to. And you have to start making plans. So on your 3-year picture should definitely have some element of where we as an organization need to be from a technology perspective. And then once you have that, now I can say, okay, well, if that's really where we need to be in 3 years, where do I need to be this year? What's my 1-year plan? And what's that technology element there? Even if I don't have company goals around the technology, I certainly need a technology team that has their own goals to get us through the year. And then we start to attack it quarter by quarter. So that's really how we look at it in the general sense of where it
So
fits in.